Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya Louisa and Happy New Year! Happy New Year. This is my first video of 2024. Fresh energy, fresh energetics, and I just wanted to be on here because I have a very important message. And if you knew how hard it was for me to get on here today with so many different obstacles. I was trying to get on here since 7 o'clock in the morning and it's damn near 7 o'clock at night. That's the type of day it's been. I do have 2 toddlers, so ya tu sabe. But this message that I had, this message I have for you was so important. It was that important that I'm coming on here just to share this message because this is the energy I would like you to consider for 2024. So I'm going to start with a story. In 2022, the end of July, I gave birth to my second son. And when I gave birth, what I really wanted was to have a VBAC. So I wanted to have a natural birth, and I had all of these ideas in my mind of what I wanted the birth to be. And I swear to you, I really believe that when I write a birth plan, Oshun just throws her head back and laughs, because every time I have this plan for how I want my births to be, they tend to be the opposite. But it's for a reason, right? So the whole pregnancy was beautiful. I didn't even throw up not one time. I lived by the beach, so I was always dancing by the beach and my baby in my belly, and I was just loving this pregnancy. I really felt like I was on drugs the whole time. I was so happy, glowing, that progesterone glow. Like I had the most delicious, amazing pregnancy. So I thought that the birth was gonna be like, spectacular and euphoric and healing and all that stuff. That was my plan, but it ended up being something else. So I went towards the end of the pregnancy. I was, fully cooked. My baby was fully cooked, and the doctors, for many reasons, decided I need to have an emergency C-section. So I had one prior, so I thought, oh God. But if you've watched my videos before, you know that I was told I was gonna have 2 C-sections way before I even met my love. So I wasn't like taken aback so much, but I was still really, really disappointed and really, really sad. So the last time that this had happened to me, they were like, oh, you have to go in the morning and we're gonna do it in the morning. But it takes like all day to prepare you. And so I thought it was gonna be the same thing. So I told my love, I was like, go home. And at the time I had my entire family visiting at my house. I don't recommend you ever do that. And so he went home. So I was there by myself, and I knew that the next day I was going to have this surgery. And to kind of get my mind off of things, I was watching this like funny sitcom just to like get some laughter and just take my mind off of what was about to happen. So I thought that I had more time. The next morning, probably at like 4 in the morning, my doctor comes. I love my doctor. And with her smiling eyes, she's wearing a mask. She had these smiling eyes. She said, come on, it's time. And I was like, what? They were taking me for the surgery in that moment. I didn't have anybody with me. My man was at home. I didn't have a chance to even contact anybody. I was kind of just whisked away. And by myself. So I had my baby and I had a very, very hard time. So after giving birth, I was sitting there with my baby in my arms, and I just felt like this weight, like, a weighted blanket. I just felt this weight, like a weighted blanket was thrown over me. I remember my shoulders were slumped and I had this beautiful baby, and I just felt so sad. I felt so sad, so disappointed. I felt so alone, and I was staring at the wall, and I remember just tears were just streaming down my face uncontrollably. And the nurse came to me and she's like talking, and I'm just staring. I have my baby in my arms, and I'm just staring at this wall, and the tears are just flowing. And at a time, she goes, Miss. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, because if you don't, rest, maybe you need to rest or something. Because if you don't get better, like get yourself together, your baby's gonna go home and you're gonna have to stay here. And I was like, oh, hell no. She was very sweet about it. She was very sweet, and I can feel there's a warmth and a good intention in what she was saying. And she was like, let me, take care of your baby, go and rest. And I was like, okay. And I went and I rested for about, this piece of hair is driving me crazy. I went and I rested for about 3 hours. I slept and woke up, and I made a promise to myself that every day I was going to nourish myself. And every single day that looks different. So the day after a huge surgery, nourishing myself meant like I couldn't move but my arms. So all I did was inhale, and I just lifted my arms up, exhale. And I just did some arms. Just like that. And then every single day since then, my commitment to myself has always been nourish. Nourish in Spanish is nutrido. I like, it sounds better in Spanish. It just has a different energy. Nutrido. So this was my constant mantra since then, since the birth of my second baby. Nourish. And that looks different on different days. Some days it's rest. Some days it's go to the beach. Some days it's exercise and push yourself and have an amazing sweaty workout. As women, as the divine feminine, we are nature, which means we're cyclical beings, which means we're constantly changing. We're not going to be the same from one moment to next. We can go around the whole block. When we get back to that same starting point, we're a different person. And so from moment to moment, we need different things. And that is the message of this video, is just to remind you and to implore you with the concept and the energy of nourish, to nourish yourself through everything, through the good and through the bad. Sometimes things will come up in our life that are very painful. Nourish the pain. Nourish yourself through the pain. If you have, for example, let's say it's your cycle time, you have lots and lots of pain from the cycle. How are you going to nourish yourself? What is the pain teaching you? Because pain is a messenger. What is the pain teaching you? The pain might be teaching you that it's time to rest, that your body is saying, I want you to lay down. And many of you might be listening to this like, Maya, that's impossible. I'm a single mom. I have a schedule. I have this. Believe me, I get it. I'm not a single mom, but I understand the demands of life. You can't just like stop and go to a spa. But I implore you to think of ways to have nourishment in your life and set that intention. It's a mindset thing, because if we think there's absolutely no way, it's impossible, I don't have time, we're not going to see possibilities for ourselves because our mind has already made a decision that we cannot nourish ourselves or we cannot rest. So set the intention that I'm going to find a way to nourish myself today, even if it's just 5 minutes that I'm laying down in the bed before I have to get up and do what I have to do. Because in those 5 minutes of rest, you're going to find new ways to have more time to rest, or new ways to cut out things that you no longer serve you. When we're in our hustle energy, we tend to just go without having that reflection time. So there's time to eat and there's time to digest and reflect. Nourish yourself through it all. Nourish yourself through the good. Nourish. When you're feeling something uncomfortable, ask yourself, how can I nourish myself in this moment? How can I nourish myself right now? What is the nourishment that I need? And that's going to be different from moment to moment. It's going to be different from day to day because, like I said, we're cyclical beings. And so our needs are constantly changing, and it's beautiful because you're able to have more fun, be more inquisitive of yourself. Don't assume that you know yourself so well because we are changing. Our needs in our 20s is way different from what we need in our 40s, right? It's a different energy. It's a different energetics. It's a different way of caring for yourself. And we're all very different. So sometimes the nourishment can be sitting down drinking water. Sometimes it's going for a walk. Sometimes it's getting your nails done. Sometimes it's calling a friend that you love. Whatever it is, ask yourself, nourish. How can I nourish myself? How can I nourish myself today? How can I nourish myself through a painful breakup? How can I nourish myself through the joy, celebration of a new year? All of the things. Get creative with it. And trust me, this is life-changing because everything that you do as a woman, when you have creative projects, when you're birthing things, whether it's a baby, a business, a podcast, a book, anything that you're birthing, it's an energy, it's an output. It's more output. It's more that you're giving. It's more things that you have to water. With every baby that you have, it's more of you that is required. The way that I cared for myself in my 20s would not work now because my output is on another level because I have 2 children, a household, and all the things. So because my output has expanded, my input has to expand too. So with every new thing that you do, if you're launching a business, I want you to nourish yourself differently than before you had the business. If you started a new job that requires more of you, that requires more nourishment. If you have a new baby, that requires more nourishment. That is how you are able to stay uplifted because the demands are real. The demands aren't going anywhere, but we want to continue to replenish ourselves, And most of our programming is that taking care of everyone else first, make sure everyone's good, and then whatever little crumbs left, I give to myself. But I want you to flip that. I want you to be like, okay, I'm gonna fill up my cup, I'm gonna fill myself up, and from my overflow, from a full cup, I can fully give because you have the energy, because you have the energetics, because you're filled up yourself, because you know that if I get off balance, I'm gonna take a pause and I'm going to nourish. Sometimes I go for a long time and I don't even realize I haven't ate because I'm like cooking for everybody else. So I think it's essential when you're birthing creative things that are all out here and you're watering them as the divine feminine. we have to stay well watered within ourselves. So as you add on to your output, add on to your input. Continue to input, continue to nourish. Nutrido, nutrido. So that is the energy of 2024. It's nourish. What would your life look like if you nourished yourself? What would everything feel like if you stay in the energy of nourishment from a moment-to-moment basis? I will say that nourishment is one of the most essential aspects of the divine feminine. And I say that because the divine feminine, she gives from her being. The divine masculine energy in general is very much a doing energy. It's a pulling, it's a leading, it's a guiding. The feminine is the being, it's who you are being in the moment. So nourishing yourself brings more of you back to yourself, so that your presence alone is empowering to yourself and everything that you do and everything that you have to water in your life. So what does that mean for you? What are the ways that you're going to start to nourish yourself? How is your life going to look like and feel if you begin to nourish yourself continuously throughout the day? These are the things I want you to think about. And speaking of nourishment, I have a brand new course that I'm so excited about. I'm thrilled. I'm speechless because this is the course that stretched me the most to make. And that's how I know it's going to be super duper powerful beyond belief. The name of the course is Enchantress, and I'm enrolling now. The course is all about beauty, power, and the sacred sexuality. So we're going deep, deep, deep into the body, into the energetics. We're doing jade egg exercises, working with the jade egg, working with our sexual energy in a way that helps you to just fill yourself up. In talking about nourishment, it is truly divine. This is the energy that I cultivated all of 2023 because I am an embodied teacher. So I embodied it, I integrated it, and now I'm sharing it and walking with you in this energetics. So that's why I'm excited, because I've been doing this for a while. So it feels so good, and it is truly life-changing, honestly. It changes your energy, it changes your hormonal balance, especially if you are someone who's going through menopause, perimenopause, anything. I'm telling you. So the link is in the description box to enroll now, and it's a pre-sale price. The price will go up on January 8th. So enroll now, because it's not going to be this low ever again. Thank you for listening to my video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great 2024. Here's to nutrido, nourishing ourselves. I'll see you soon. Peace.